Yo, what is up guys? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So we got a bunch of news on stuff that the community has been asking about for quite a long time, and that has to do with desync, or really just all the networking issues. We finally got a response to that, as well as some other stuff. But not only that, we also got a response to why exactly the shop prices have been significantly increased. If you haven't noticed already, a lot of the season 5 bundles cost a lot more compared to other seasons. So yeah, let's get right into it. So this was shared by John Unishek, who is a community manager at 343, and so he went ahead and tweeted on Twitter some info on what's coming. And one of the biggest ones was obviously the networking. And to sum it all up, he basically just says that they were trying to improve the existing system that they had, but it just wasn't working out. So now they decided to make some fundamental changes to the network model, and that of course something of that scale is going to take a lot of time. And they just continue to say that significant work has been done, and they'll share more when they actually get to a public testing phase. So yeah, it seems like they're basically just starting from scratch or completely doing a rework to the networking is what I'm getting from here. And yeah, that's definitely good. We'll see how that plans out. So he also talks about the custom game browser issues, some of them that have been going on. So if you notice with season 5, or I guess really the entire lifespan of the custom browser for however long it's been, sometimes you're not able to like join lobbies, or you get like stuck in infinite loading screens or stuff like that. Well, he actually explains this and says that these loading issues happen because other players were joining the same session at the same time, causing the lobby to fill up before you're able to join in. So he's basically just saying that while you're trying to join in, I guess someone else just joined in faster, and maybe the game doesn't register that, so it either just kicks you out or just keeps you waiting, or you get stuck in a loading screen or something like that. So he just continues to say that they're reviewing feedback, support tickets, all that stuff. If I remember correctly, I do believe they did push out a small patch for the custom game browser, but I'm not too sure on that one. But I'll probably pop it up on the screen if there was an update. Anyways, moving along here, we actually got some info on a new cross-core feature that will be coming. And yeah, so he talks about multi-use customization, or as we like to call it, cross-core. I guess they just call it multi-use now. And he basically just lets us know that the next thing that they're going to make multi-use is the shoulder pads. So that means you'll be able to interchange all your shoulder pads between, all the different cores. It won't be restricted to a specific core now, just like with the helmets, which is definitely awesome. Brings more customization, which is always better. He also says that they're working on making basically older armor coatings become multi-use, since previously they weren't before, but that's going to be done in waves since there's so many coatings, and I think they've already been doing that since the start of season 5. There's been a few older coatings that became multi-use, so yeah, he just says that they're going to be working on that as well. So of course, the shoulders and more armor coatings and stuff, we can expect to see that in the future. I'm assuming we'll probably get the cross-core shoulders in season 6 is my assumption. So he also goes on talking about the mid-season update, which we kind of already know what was going to be in the mid-season update, but this just confirms that there will be a mid-season update that launches with Firefight King of the Hill, the repair field equipment, and of course there's going to be bug fixes and stability improvements and more. And he continues to say as they get closer, they'll share more about it. Unfortunately, they don't give a date as to when exactly this mid-season update is. Obviously, it is during the middle of the season, right? But we don't know how long this season is. Now let's move on to something that's been very controversial since the start of Halo Infinite. Who would have known? People are arguing about the shop. I don't know, it's pretty funny. It's gonna be a never-ending battle, let's be honest. So if you didn't realize, the season 5 bundles have had a significant increase in the amount they cost. It's almost pretty much the same as the season 1 bundles. Anyways, the point is there's been a rise of the prices on these bundles. People have been asking what's going on with that, and we finally got a response from that. Someone on Twitter went ahead and tweeted, his name's Accelerate. He basically says that the shop prices have been very disappointing, and the fact that they went back and raised the prices of older bundles, is disappointing. Because if you haven't noticed, a lot of the older bundles, everything like pre-season 5, have had a price increase. So here's Sketch's response. To sum it all up, he basically just says that there's a new base price with season 5, and the reason for a new base price is because now that a lot of stuff is becoming multi-use, like the cross-core helmets, the cross-core shoulders, cross-core coatings, he's basically saying that because of that, the value has now increased. And that's why you see a lot of increase in the prices for, well, obviously the new Season 5 bundles and the older bundles, because that stuff is now going to become multi-use. And that's also why when you see the sale thing, That's why it didn't make sense, because, you know, previously, like, let's say for example, I think it's like those wolf shoulders, I forgot what they're called. I think previously they were like 300 credits, now they're like 600 or something like that. I could be wrong, but I'm just giving an example. That's why when you see the sale where it says like minus 25% or whatever, you know, a lot of people were calling that out. They're like, what the heck, it costed way less than before. And that's because, once again, like I said, they changed the base price due to everything being like more, now having more value because it becoming multi-use or whatever. But yeah, so the sale is definitely still a sale, but it's just on the new base price that's being set. So yeah, that's pretty much what he says. I don't know if you guys agree with it or not. I definitely have a take on it, which I'm going to talk about right now. I mean, I do think it makes sense. Obviously, you do get a lot more value when it comes to multi-use coatings and everything like that, because if you think about it, back then, I mean, they were trying to sell one coating for every single core. You know, they were really trying to milk it, and obviously they're losing out on all that money when they're making all this stuff multi-use now. But I think this isn't just a problem with the shop, it's honestly just a bigger problem that's been happening in gaming with free-to-play games. You know, it's just something that happens when it's a free-to-play game. Obviously, I don't agree with the prices. I think they should definitely decrease the base price. I understand if they want to increase it a bit, because if you do think about it, which Sketch doesn't actually bring up, they did actually boost up, at least I would say, the quality of some of the shop items. I mean, we got weapon models now. We got some really cool flood armor, although some of the bundles don't make sense because they are kits, which just limits customization. So there is like a few variables, but if you do think about it, I do think the quality of the cosmetics has definitely gone up. So I honestly wouldn't mind if they did increase the base price a bit, but I think what people are getting at here is that obviously they increased it way too much. And yeah, that's pretty much all I think. I do think they should decrease it somewhat, at least. I don't know, because I do definitely think it's a lot. But once again, I mean, this just wraps around to like free-to-play games, and it's just how they function. I think Halo Infinite is definitely like one of the better ones if you look at like the grand scale of things. I mean, look at Valorant. I think they sell like skin bundles for like $70 or something, although they are pretty quality items. I would say it's definitely not like $70 worth. It's crazy, man. It really is. And unfortunately, I don't think this will be the end talking about the shop. You know, there's always going to be price adjustments and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's my take on it. It makes sense if they want to increase it somewhat. Yeah, I think they just increased it a bit too much. I also wanted to make a video showing off all the Season 5 models, but I'm very hesitant about that now, but just because of the pricing of all the bundles. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. I definitely do think, obviously, there needs to be some adjustments. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Consider subscribing and liking the video as it shows your support, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.